This is Mock Fox from Zwar Machine, and you're listening to the Roosta podcast worldwide.
I am the one who tried to take you down. I am the one who tried to take you down. On my bed back into the hole. You'll all I'm waiting for. So play for me now. So play for me now. A peacock feather from the brooch that she wore is born in love on the sun moist ear. With its lead to the labyrinth nails to the rock where my son disappeared. My daughters, my daughters, my daughters, my daughters, my destroyers of the generate worlds. They move at dusk and glide like eagles through a husk, leaving stains on a plain white board. I am the one who tried to take you down. I am the one who tried to take you down. On my bare back into the hole. You're all I'm waiting for. So play for me now. So play for me now. I stop and press round the corners and drift until the pleasure comes in waves. Pull the chokes and the trail of the smoke will point me onwards to your darkest cave. I slip through cracks and then I never look back. The stars invite me to be one of its slaves. One quick clap, took the Gordon's blade hat. I said, done us to be saved. I am the one who tried to.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Roosta Show. Today we're going to Italy. We have a band that I don't want to say their name wrong. We're going to have John from the Peripheries. I hope I said that right. I heard their music and it's great. It's kind of like a shoegaze mixed with techno and a little bit of new wave sound to it. I dig it. It has a good energy. So let's see. Oh, look at you. Oh, fancy. Hello. How you doing, John? Oh, I can't hear. I don't know if sometimes it's the recording button. Sometimes it asks if you want to record onto whatever. I don't know. While he is doing that, I want to let you guys know that he do have a website, and it's excellent. You can listen to some tracks, you can watch videos. Hello, how you doing?
How about that? How about that? You hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Good.
Was it the record button?
Yeah. It just said I hadn't allowed the permission to record. That was all.
That's awesome. Good to have you here. Welcome
Good
to
to
the
be
Roosta
here.
Show.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, how do you pronounce your band name exactly?
The Peripheries.
Peripheries. Okay, I said it wrong.
Yes.
Okay, I totally said it wrong. I was kind of scared to say it at first. I said Peripheries.
Oh right, no, we get all sorts of variants because obviously we're playing in Italy a lot, so we get quite a lot of confusion about how to pronounce our name.
Much love to you and my apologies. No,
Even though it's exactly the same in Italian, it seems to seems to confuse people for no apparent reason. Anyway,
that's so funny. I love your website. Your webpage is beautiful. It's has stuff for news and videos, and songs and live stuff and all kinds of great things. I dig it. So tell me about a little bit about your bio, about your background. First of
so
all, with you, and then we'll talk about the band.
sure. My bio is basically I played in a few bands. I'm sort of out of the lo-fi indie scene in England. Played in a couple of a band that had a couple of albums with Shinkansen, which was part of Sarah Records, very much like lo-fi, twee.
Okay.
Coming out of Bristol, I was born in Bristol in the UK.
Oh, sweet.
Came to Italy about 20 years ago, and I played in a few bands here, and eventually ran into these guys, especially Carlo, who's the singer, who happens to also be the guy who does all the graphics, and the website is entirely his
Wow.
to his credit, nothing to do with me.
Yeah, he's very talented.
Basically I mean, I'm in publishing. I work in publishing, and he works in graphic design. So we've really got the I don't know, presentational aspects of it all sorted. And yeah, I mean, we just sort of found this sort of common ground. I sort of coming out of more of an indie rock pop type background, but
Yeah.
my earliest passions were, the sort of 80s new wave sound.
Yeah.
I mean, we tend to get sort of compared a little bit in our sound to Depeche Mode, but I don't know if that's maybe a little bit more just convenience sake for people, who don't have this sort of complete grounding in the new. I mean, I'm much more sort of Cocteau Twins and Joy Division sort of guy, but like a bit of synth pop as well, and we sort of coming out of there really. I mean, we're not really into that sort of nostalgic, sort of attempt to just recreate the sound of these early 80s. But we sort of thought, well, we take that as an influence and take that as a starting point and just sort of see where it takes us in terms of like the songwriting and the sound. And we're already sort of drifting away from that. So I mean, it's only 2 years ago. We've only been going for 2 years. So
oh wow,
and we're already on the
it's an
second
excellent
album.
sound. I was checking out some of your stuff, and I mean, that's your last one in 2025 was just amazing album. I was blown away because it's a really nice. It is that new wave sound, which actually I grew up. I'm 53, so I grew up in that era, and so it kind of brings me back a little bit. And it's kind of funny that they probably conveniently say you sound like Depeche Mode. It's not necessarily like that. You have your own unique sound, I think, which is wonderful. And so, but yes, I mean, I can see how they could put you in somewhat that kind of category. I mean, if they have to do that, everybody has to put someone in the category. You know what I mean?
There's a lot. The thing with the music scene at the moment is there's a lot of there's a lot of people who have a niche, and like a niche of a niche of a niche, and they tend to. There's a huge amount of pigeonholing, and it's actually, in many ways, it's the only way to actually get any sort of attention in. You have to actually make sure you're part of a scene.
Yes.
Whereas nobody who's actually making music actually really ever thinks of themselves as just wanting to be part of a scene. I mean, really, you just want to be making music and making as good music as you can try to make. And we're taking all sorts of influences on board. We've got the other band members obviously come from different backgrounds, so we're taking everything and throwing it in the melting pot and see what comes out, developing as a band, and we're a live band as well. The other thing that sort of distinguishes us from a lot of the bands in this type of what you'd call probably the dark wave sort of 80s revival type bands. A lot of them are synth and voice bands, and we're really, you know, we have synth and we have voice, but we're actually playing everything live. We don't really use sequences at all. We tried to make everything as organic as possible.
Yeah. And the album I was talking about is Mechanical Repercussions. Reproductions. Yeah, that's a great album.
Mechanical
actually.
Reproductions. Yes.
Yes, I know you have two different versions, but I was talking about the earlier one, the first one, probably the actual album. The other one's a remix.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The other one is just a whole series of remixes that I basically did most of the album, the entirety of the album, apart from the piano track, which is A Shadow Passing Over, was actually recorded in this room. So this is my home studio.
Oh, awesome!
So no, with the second album is entirely studio recorded. So we're moving on from that.
So, what's your instrument of choice? What do you play the most?
I'm basically the guitarist with the band. Yeah, electric guitar.
Okay.
I basically play everything because I write all the songs and I sing the demos and everything. So I could, you know, I do complete demos for the band because I can play bass and I can play keyboards as well. But in the band, I would just play the electric guitar and do a bit of backing vocals and a tiny bit of synth here and there.
That's good.
Our singer is Carlo, who has a much better voice than me, much more powerful sort of baritone, has a higher range, a bit more of a tenor actually than a baritone. Great synth player, Flaminio. Live drums from Sabina. So we have two women in the band, which is fantastic because it makes it a lot less this, you know, the sort of four sweaty blokes on a stage type of vibe. We have a much more integrated sort of style. There's, you know, a bit of a sort of, you know, we're our own family, if you like. And Udo on bass as well. So, you know, there's quite a range of backgrounds and styles, and quite a nice visual mix as well when we're playing live.
Are you? I noticed you said you're a Joy Division fan. Are you much of a New Order fan?
Not so much. Yeah, really. I didn't. I know it sounds horribly crass thing to say, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, I loved Blue Monday and the rest of it, but they sort of lost me after that. You know.
I get you. I get you. I mean, everybody has their own. How about the band Electronic?
Some of them, yeah. I mean, that was the collaboration with Johnny Marr, yeah.
Yes, it was. Yep. And also,
I love
the gentleman from lead singer of Pet Shop Boys filled in as singing at times too.
Yeah, Neil Tennant.
Neil Tennant. Yeah. Yes, right. Yep. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. I love his voice. Fabulous voice. So I'm a big fan of the 80s. I absolutely love them. And so it gives me a good thrill, you know, when I hear bands that are kind of bringing some of that back to life, because that's what this whole show is about anyways, keeping that old school alive, the old days, you know, the punk rock, the alternative, you know, and all that good stuff. And when bands do that, it makes me feel good. You know what I mean?
The real thing from the early 80s that I think because we don't want to be, you know, we don't want to be that sort of nostalgic sort of, you know, we're just trying to recreate that sound.
Oh no.
I mean, the thing about the early 80s though was, and the thing that I think is really worth hanging on to is the actual openness to new styles. I mean, this was a huge explosion of different influences.
Yes,
and, you know, the thing about the Peripheries is, you know, one of the most famous monikers for the music for the early 80s was the sound of the suburbs. And it was very much like things coming in from outside and disturbing, you know, the established order. You know, punk came in and just like threw a whole, you know, grenade into the mix. But it was actually the post-punk era and the new wave that actually brought things in from different influences. You know, there was ska, there was obviously synth pop. Then it was the more punky side. You know, the Stranglers made Golden Brown, which is, you know, like a sort of classically influenced track with a bit of harpsichord on it. There was everything was going in the mix. They didn't care remotely.
Same with Killing
Stuff
Joke.
from Blancmange that has, you know, sort of, Killing Joke as well. There was just so much going on. You know, when people talk about that era, you're talking about, you know, between 1978 and say 83. You're taking everything, you know, because Dex's Midnight Runners. I mean, what would Dex's Midnight Runners really have to do with Adam and the Ants and stuff? But everything's going on really, and there's people taking. There was a sense that there were no real limitations to what you could do, and you had that DIY ethic where you could take things in and make them part of something that would just shake people up a bit, you know.
Exactly. 80s were fun. I think that's probably, it was fun music as well. Yeah, I mean, even the soundtrack movie soundtrack stuff was all fun. You know, it was like experimental. It was fun. It was exciting. You know, and I don't know.
The other thing about the era is that what you know, some of the more fetishistic proponents of the early 80s vibe don't get is that none of these people were really scared of being popular.
Yeah,
they really wanted to be pop stars. You know, they wanted as many people as possible to hear their music, and they weren't scared of like a good tune.
That's true.
Just, you know, make a proper song with a good tune. It's not selling out. You're just making good music.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we'd like to be. You know, if we're taking on board, I mean, I can take on board flamenco influences, or I can take on board, I don't know, like Sophie production type stuff from like hyper pop production values. Just throw it in there, see what happens. You know, people might like it, people might not like it, but there's no point in, you know, just repeating what everybody else has already done. You know, be creative.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. So you guys do many shows where you're at? Many live performances?
As many as possible. Getting live gigs is, as anybody playing in a band knows, it takes much more of your time than actually making the music. So yeah, we're looking for a booking agency to take us on board as soon as possible. But in the meantime, we're getting as many gigs as we can on our own. Claudio Udo, our bassist, is our main booker. He's our booking agent, and we just played in Bristol in the UK.
How did that go?
Got some gigs now. Oh, great! Yeah, had a really good time. I played mainly for a load of kids from the college, which was a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
Good to actually, you know, get out of Italy sometimes, and we do find in many ways getting out away from where you're from is a really, really good experience. You tend to, I don't know, we tend to play better as well when we're actually playing in front of people that really have never heard of us. It's a bit.
Well, you kind of feel like you have to prove yourself a little bit. You know?
We just love being on stage. Just have a really great time. And now we've been doing it properly, I'd say, for about a year, and every time is just fantastic. We just love spending time together and playing on stage for people. So
yeah,
we've got gigs near Rome next weekend. Then about three weeks after that, we're in Sardinia, which is great. We would have to get on an overnight ferry. And
awesome.
Then maybe Sicily in December. And we're our main aim at the moment would be to try to get over to Spain or some Spanish-speaking countries, because about 2/3 of our actual followers and listeners appear to be from the Spanish-speaking world. So we'd really like to get over there because they obviously like what we do in Spain and Latin America.
Is some of your stuff in a different language? Do you do it sing in different language? No, just sing in English.
No, it's all in English, which is my fault because I write it, and I just find it easier to write in English.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I have written songs in Italian before,
well, it's more of a universal language, I guess, in most, in a sense. I mean,
for a band that's from Italy, to be singing in English it can be feel a little bit pretentious, but I am English, so it's the natural thing for us to be doing.
Yeah.
You know? But in many ways, for us to make it in Italy as an Italian band, it would almost be easier for us to get some really, really good coverage, like in Spain or Germany and the UK, and then actually really
Yeah.
present ourselves to the Italian market as actually an English band with just some Italians in. It's a difficult balancing act.
Okay, I also heard that, I mean, that writing in English is a little more easier because it's more poetic and more able to you're able to flow better with the words, and you know what
I
I mean?
wouldn't.
Because
I
it
w- I
seems
wouldn't
like
say
some of
that.
them would be a little harder to, flow with that kind of music. You think?
There's a couple of things that happen when you write in Italian or if you write in Spanish. The actual rhythm of the melody changes automatically because actually the rhythm of the language changes. So you
Ah,
find
see, yeah,
you're writing different melodies. Then you can't just translate the text into the other language and then expect the actual melody to be the same. It won't be because you're ending syllables in different places
there you
in the
go. Yeah,
melodic line.
that's kind of what I was
But
getting
no,
at,
but
but you sounded more intelligent saying that.
all right,
That's
okay.
good. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
kind
well,
of getting at, though. I love to write
yeah,
music myself. I get a great joy out of creating music. It's like I also frame houses. It's kind of fun to frame build a home out of nothing. You know what I mean? It's like same with the song. You get a joy. A release, an inner release. When you create a song. And
there's
then when you
something
share it with the world, then they can experience the same joy and passion that you have for that song. You know what I mean? It's just
exactly one of the things we've insisted
amazing.
on. We One of the things we've insisted on a lot in interviews that we've done is this idea that we have to somehow find a way to re-establish music as a collective experience, as something that doesn't exist unless you're doing it with people. It's part of the basic human experience of basically um, sharing your emotions with people. That happens between us when we're playing together, but also happens in a way when you're playing live with people. Music's not about just doing this stuff in your bedroom and then posting it on Instagram. It's
It's
something that
not
only
selfish.
exists.
Yeah, it's not a
It's
selfish
exactly,
thing.
and you're giving part of yourself to people, but also as soon as you have given it, it's no longer yours, which can be quite odd when you've spent a lot of time creating something and then you realize that actually you've just let it go and suddenly it's coming back to you in a different way from other people.
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting experience, and a very physical, very visceral sort of experience a lot of the time.
Have
And
you had a song that came back a different way that you are upset about, or
no, no, no,
that
not
kind of,
upset about it at all. No, it can be quite for me as the songwriter. I
yeah,
think probably the others in the band experience it in a different way, but maybe I've been at parties where they put our debut track on and people are dancing and singing it, and I feel almost I'm sort of slightly alienated from my own song at that point, which is great. It's a wonderful thing, but by the same token, you're thinking actually no, they're not experiencing that in the same way that I experience it, because
yeah,
I remember I,
exactly.
re- I remember me in my bedroom with my keyboard writing it. You know,
Yeah.
for me, that's just something I did in a couple of hours. Because sometimes the best songs just come to you. You can spend like some great songs. You can spend like days and days constructing, but occasionally it's just like you just sit down and it just comes out, and and you don't really know
That's
where.
awesome. That's awesome. Such a good feeling, though. It is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I said, it's a release. It's a inner
But
release.
also, there's something weirdly authentic about um, even I sort of feel that when you're writing lyrics and you're singing lyrics, there's something authentic about them, even when it's complete nonsense. There's just something happens in the act of making a song out of something
Yeah.
that it suddenly feels way more authentic than the actual if you were just to sit down and write a story recounting what actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I mean, I don't know. I don't think people who maybe we shouldn't, analyze it too much because you.
Now, how do you feel about doing covers? Do you try to stay away from that?
We do, yes, yeah.
That's good. That's
I
good.
mean, partially, without any false modesty, I'm very prolific. I write enormous amounts of songs. So there's really, if we were going to do a cover version, that would mean not doing one of our own songs.
Yeah.
So why would you do that? I mean, the only reason you would possibly stick a cover version in is if you just wanted to get if you did it for marketing reasons, but you'd have to be very, very choosy.
Or tribute, if it's, like Ian Curtis's birthday and you want to sing a atmosphere, live, in honor to him, or something. I could see something like that.
One-off a gig or something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, something like that I could see, but spending the time, because I mean, think about the way I look at it is sometimes it takes a lot more energy just to figure out how the band does it, and then to reproduce it, recreate it yourself. And I mean, why not just write your own song?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're trying to make it your own anyways. Why waste the energy of doing that when you can create your own?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we were going to actually do a cover version of the song, I'd want it to be something completely unexpected. I mean, just sort of taking, I don't know, some old country song. Maybe take something Gillian Welsh, or I love, and take one of her songs and do a synth pop version of it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why bother? I mean, if you're a tribute band, that's fine, great. I play in a couple of tribute bands, but it's not this,
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's one? Well, first of all, how many albums do you guys have? Is that your main album that you guys have right now?
We released Mechanical Reproductions in February, which basically is everything that we'd produced up till then. We'd had give or take a couple of tracks. We sort of put everything together, added about 5 tracks into it, and that's an album. With a pretty much a fairly uniform sort of feel, apart from A Shadow Passing Over, which is just a piano ballad. Since then, we've released a couple of tracks as standalone tracks, which is The Trial of John Africa and Hicksum Leonis.
Yes, I've seen that.
The Trial of John Africa is very interesting as well. But
what's that about?
Trial of John Africa is about John. It was the 40th anniversary of the death of a guy called John Africa in Philadelphia. So I don't want to get my dates wrong, but I think it was in the middle of May in must have been 85. I think I have the graphic novel that Claudio, our bassist, produced about. So we had the song already, and so the anniversary just was just a really great occasion where we could actually, do something that had some sort of social meaning behind it. He was the leader of a movement called Move in Philadelphia, which was sort of basically a sort of resistance movement based along sort of anarcho-environmentalist lines that got into a huge amount of conflict with the local police force in Philadelphia over the years. So there was a shootout a few years before then, but then basically everything culminated in basically the Philadelphia police's attempt to close them down in Osage Avenue.
Wow.
In Philadelphia, and they basically dropped a couple of firebombs on their house and killed all of them.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's horrible. Now,
Mike Africa's the guy who's the sole survivor of that now, and he's running a campaign called Reclaim Osage that's trying to get and rebuild the house or turn it into a monument for what happened that day.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I mean, the Trial of Africa sort of
it's deep.
Sort of, yeah, I mean, it's sort of the song just sort of references it. Really, it's not like a ballad, the Ballad of John Africa or anything like that. It's much more sort of heavy pop thing, just referencing it. So
Okay,
we
now,
released that.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead, my friend. Go ahead.
So we released that in May. We've got a new single coming out on the 7th of November called Celia, which is much lighter. It's more of a synth pop love song, which is one of our sweeter songs. And then after that, we're getting into the release of the new material from the new album. So we've got a song coming out in December called Katowice, the town in Poland, and then the album will be out probably, if everything goes okay with the producer, at the beginning of January next year. The title of the album at the moment is Derive, which is like derive, but the French word, because it's based around a sort of a French concept, of a French philosophical concept of wandering aimlessly around towns trying to figure out their geopolitics.
Now, when you write lyrics, are you more are they more life-based type of lyrics, heart-filled lyrics, or do you
There's
base it with some politics involved or anything like that, or do you try to stay away from all that?
no, politics is definitely there in a very big way. The lead track from the Mechanical Reproduction is called Lodestar, and Lodestar is basically based around just a small image of people crossing the river, immigrants trying to cross the river to get into the north, the global north. So really, it's almost an American. It's actually an American symbol. It's the people trying to get across the river and maybe risking drowning just to get a better life. Very ambiguous image as well, in the sense that this may be an illusion in any case. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the songs have names of places. So we have like Yurmala, Oaxaca in Mexico, Archangel on the new album, Katowice is on the new album, Vik, which is a place in Iceland. These are really, I mean, the idea behind the place names is really to use places as symbols for states of mind. So you're taking that. I tend to use like vignettes, like short snapshots of life based in places that somehow are really standing in as symbols for experiences. Murmansk, which is on the first album as well, which is really Murmansk being the sort of the nuclear arsenal of the old USSR submarine fleet.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of sense of threat of apocalypse, really. I mean, I've never been to Murmansk and have no intention of going to Murmansk, but so really a lot of it is projection in any case. I don't really make any bones about that. And then other songs are really far more personal. But again, you're probably taking like snapshots of your own experience and turning them into symbols of some kind of tend to be a lot of marginal states of mind. I tried to work in terms of transitions and moments in your life when things could go one or another way, So we have Mr. Xanax and Pesach, which is a shadow passing over, which are very, very personal songs about, moments in my life. So
now,
there's a bit of that.
You are the sole writer, or is anybody else? Could they add influences to your tracks and add lyrics and stuff like that? Could they do that?
I mean,
you open?
it's not. I like to say that I'm a benevolent dictator in that. I mean, I will come up with a complete track with the complete structure and the bass and the drums and everything else, but it's not. There's maybe certain aspects of the songs that are set in stone. You can't really mess around with some parts of it. You may have a bass line that is fundamental for the song. You may have a sequence that's fundamental for the song. You may have a melody that's fundamental for the song. Anything that's not fundamental for the song can be up for grabs.
They can add their own influences and own styles. Yeah.
I mean, especially Flaminia will come up with her own synth sounds and her own synth patches, and the dynamic of that. But there may be a case where, like Snow, the song Snow off our first album, where there's a little keyboard melody in the chorus, See that you can't go messing with that because that's the hook.
Okay, yes.
So
Gotcha.
there may be bits and pieces where but it's not as if I would ever. I mean, we'll work on it together so we get the right balance and the right type of sound based on, because I'm using my own instruments here when I'm playing it, where they'll be using their own. So we're always debating what the right sound, maybe the right effect on the voice. We do a lot of work together on adding vocal harmonies as well, which obviously is I might add one or two here and there in my demos, but I can't have the complete picture of what it will sound like when Flaminia
When
sings.
everybody's involved. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah. So it's not necessarily a dictatorship that you're doing. It's more of here's somewhat of a structure, and then keep these involved here because this is, like you said, the hooks, and then everybody else can do their little parts around it.
Yeah. But also the other thing is this is a collective experience. It's not me. It's not me standing there and saying, okay, guys, you're all going to play my songs and this is how it's going to be, because everybody's making their own contribution. Sabina, our drummer, makes great merch, makes really, really great designs for clothes and that we wear in our gigs, and we also sell as our merch. Udo, our bassist, has produced the graphic novel for Trilodon Africa. Carlos producing all the graphics as well, and Flaminia's doing lots of work on and actually driving a lot of the synth-based sounds as well. So I mean, my contribution is I just give you the raw materials of the songs.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I'm also not interested in being a band where the only objective is just to reproduce my demos. Why would I want to do that?
So do you like the studio time as much as you like being on stage?
No. I love recording songs, and it's a fantastic experience. I have lovely, great time in the studio. Actually seeing the songs take and then maybe experimenting with overdubs and that type of thing.
Yeah,
but nothing beats playing live. No, I mean playing live is the real reason we're in it. We set that out as our initial objective very early in the project when we said, what do we want to do? It's not about selling a million albums. It's about getting out there and playing the songs to people, making connections with people in venues.
Seeing them eye to eye, and let them feel you, and you feel their energy just right, back. I mean, what's one of your most highlights of your experience so far on a stage with this project?
I'd have to say, actually, I mean, we've had some great gigs, but the one that really I suppose when you've played in bands, you sometimes get that really unexpected gig where just everything is just amazing and just you really, really love the vibe you're getting off the people and just have a really great. And it was a really small bar in Gorizia, which is like on the border with Slovenia. We played in March, and it was tiny. I mean, it wasn't really even a proper stage. It was just like a bit of the bar that had been closed off. And I was like playing my guitar vertically, because if I turned around, I would whack, I think, Flaminia in the head.
Oh, how funny!
And I'm like balancing against the wall to try to change.
You look like a flamingo playing, huh?
Yeah.
One leg in the air with your arm.
Yeah, but the bar was packed and nobody knew who we are, but they just loved it. The people
That's awesome.
Were incredibly enthusiastic about it. It was incredibly hot because the bar was packed and it just gets very, very hot and sweaty. But we had a fantastic time. So yeah, I'd probably have to say that one. We also had some really unexpected gigs as well, where our gig in Milan.
Yeah.
And we didn't actually realize that the singer of the support band was actually the daughter of a very, very famous Italian independent musician, and he turned up. And so we were like, oh my God, we're playing in front of basically probably the most famous Italian from the independent music scene, and spent like the rest of the evening chatting to him at 1 a.m, which was
awesome.
just completely unexpected. Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so happy for you. So I noticed that you can find your music on Bandcamp and all the main networks,
Everywhere,
right?
Bandcamp,
Everywhere,
Spotify, Apple
iTunes.
Music,
Yep,
everywhere. Yeah.
that's right. And you got music videos on YouTube. So you got a YouTube channel, obviously.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You got well. Anyways, I'm really happy that we had this time. And we're getting kind of low to our time. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for your success so far in this project?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We'd I think that the main person we have to thank is our record company manager, called Riccardo Rinaldi, for believing in us, and
Yep.
for occasionally also financing us, which is also very, very helpful. Yeah, and I mean, basically, there's people like you. I mean, we've had great interviews from sort of people in Sicily who've just picked up on it and wanted to just any anybody who's been enthusiastic about our music.
Yeah.
There's a great guy called Rene Ramos, one of the very, very first people to actually pick up on our debut single, and has been following us ever since. And yeah.
Anybody
I
else
mean,
from America interview yet?
no, I don't think we've actually had.
So
Well,
I am the
we've had
first
some
from
prep.
America.
It's proper, yeah. There's first like
Yes.
proper podcast. I mean, we've had press coverage. Yeah, we had press from like Ear Milk and
I'm glad I
got some
reached
really,
out.
yeah.
I really am. You're an interesting band. You're wonderful, and I love your spirit. You have a great atmosphere about you, and I appreciate that, John. It was a
Well,
great conversation, and hopefully we can talk again when you get a new album out. Maybe get some of the gang together, and we'll have another show and let you guys discuss your album and talk about upcoming shows and whatever. Do an update. Yeah, right.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
do a
That would be
promo on it.
fantastic.
You're
Yeah, next
more
time
than
we get like
welcome back.
get all five of us, and you'll see like the full Italian chaos that ensues.
That'd be awesome.
All
Well, you're
five of
always
us going
welcome
to
back.
talk.
All right. Today we had Peripheries, and we thank you very much, John. I thank you once again for your time, and it means the world to me. Thank you. You take
Thank
care
you
of
very much.
yourself.
Great
And
talking to you.
yeah, definitely talk to you very soon again. All right.
Cheers.
You be well.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
I listen to the stars every day. I want to come and learn in modern ways. And I step on up and the echo starts to grow until the down chorus starts to show. No one goes to sleep at night, and we say one day all the path will be right. We breathe on fear and walk on silence. Desert silence, load star, load star, load. Protect me when the wind blows. Load star, load star, load. Protect me when the wind blows. I listen to the lies you say. I go because you take me anyway. And I button up and the river starts to flow. Can't make it out with the naked eye. I wade through water
protect me when